Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Tyra.
Ooh. You see my gains?
Oh, she's been working out.
It's not there yet. I got a long way to go.
I see gains.
I love the gas though, babe. Thank you. You see him? It's because she felt them. She felt the pump when I was getting it. Anyway. What's the juice out here in these streets?
I was gonna welcome the people who haven't been, who have not listened to a podcast, and this is their first episode.
This is your first episode. You want to know what? I'm not gonna lie. Yep, you're right. This probably will be the first episode that a lot of newcomers will see because of the title. We know y'all just want the gay shit. Like, it's okay. I want the gay shit too. It be like that.
Right. So welcome to Let's Chat Podcast, where we talk about gay stuff.
Or good majority of it is gay shit.
Good majority, not everything.
We try to get, a little bit gay relation in there, other than just us being gay.
Yeah.
But in our reality, we get down to a little bit of everything, that pertains to us personally, because we are also here to give personal experiences and just share our perspectives on things, as we've been saying. So if this is your first time coming and seeing this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you share it, and the people you share it to loves it, enjoys it, and that you guys continue to follow us moving forward. We have a shit ton of previous episodes, so go ahead and check that out as well. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the shits. Just click the link in the bio, you heard?
We also do this thing called family meetings, where our listeners ask us questions and we answer them to the best of our ability. We're not professionals, like Jojo said. This is just based on our experiences. And yeah, we're two queer Latinas who are in a relationship, and we felt like this was needed. But yeah, we're not going to give you too much. Go ahead and do your own research on the podcast and keep listening.
Yeet.
So, in this episode, we are going to talk about, as you see the title, 10 things we knew before. 10 things I wish I knew before coming out.
She's nervous,
she
y'all. She's nervous.
She can't
She
talk.
said there might be new people here. Hold on. Nah, but for those of you who've been following us, or if you're going to catch up on previous episodes, we did do an episode that was 10 things I wish I knew before dating women. And that actually did really well. So, kind of just piggybacking off of that, we figured we'd do 10 things we wish we knew before coming out. So, that's you want to get into it? Or
let's get into it. Let's do this.
Let's do the damn thing.
All right. You want to do number one?
Yeah. So, number one is you don't have to change your styles or mannerisms or behavior when coming out. And she said that to me because she knew that I was out here switchy, swatchy, all that shit. I 110% agree. When I was, I'm not going to say when I was first coming out, but in my beginning stages of getting into my experience of liking women, or like, knowing that girls liking girls was a thing. Mind you, I was super young. I was 14 years old in fucking middle school. And I had just come to realize, like, this is a thing. And I wasn't the only one. So for me, I grew up very tomboyish. So it only made sense for me to be more, so to say, like, aggressive, like a stud, I guess, so to say. So I was just giving into a lot of my what's the word? I can never think of what the fuck I'm trying to say. But I was giving more so into my tomboyish side, and because I was more comfortable that way, so I was getting into hats and like presenting myself more masculine, so to say. That's the word I'm looking for. I was conforming more to my masculine side and completely neglected my feminine personality and presentation and traits as I was getting older, that I just thought I had to look this way, like if I know that my mannerism in a way is like kind of in that masculine energy, that I had to shed myself in a masculine light. And I feel like for me that just threw me in a specific label, you know, and
Mhm.
the idea of like, this is the type of lesbian you have to be. You're either super girly or you're super masculine.
Mhm.
And again, because of my tomboyish ways, I was like, I'm going to be masculine.
Mhm.
And I don't know why I did that because, I mean, I'm still a little masculine, but
Yeah.
I'm way more comfortable in my femininity than I was then.
Mhm.
You're this. I feel like a lot of this is gonna pertain to me because you
Uh-huh.
didn't have like you didn't go through this transition younger,
Yeah. I
like
feel
in that
like
stage where you didn't know who you were yet.
right. I came out later in life. And like before coming out, I guess to me, that wasn't a thing because I saw so many gay people who were femme, who were STEM, who were studs. So it was like, okay, I didn't know the labels back then. I didn't know any of that. I just knew, all right, there are some gay people who look more masculine and there are some gay people who look more feminine.
Hmm.
I didn't know there were actual
You had a
terms to it.
variety.
So I was just like, okay, I get this is a thing. Like you really don't know who's gay and who's not. And that's a good thing and a bad thing because as a femme, I feel like sometimes femme actually do feel like they need to show more mask
Mhm.
so people could know that they're actually like
Gay.
gay.
Yeah.
So they might also change up their style. I don't think I changed up my style to the extreme, but I do think that I started becoming more comfortable in like wearing sneakers and cargos and things like that. Like I always
Mhm.
felt like I needed to like dress up and like wear like dresses and shit like that. And then I was like, no, I could wear suits. I could look a certain way and be comfortable and not be so feminine and wear heels all the time. Like I don't have to be like that. Like I,
Yeah.
I really don't. So yeah.
Mm.
All right, number 2. Your family and friends will not hate you. And if they don't support you, then you can cut them off. So
Period.
this is major for me. Like if you get anything out of this, I really want you to remember that they're not gonna hate you, even though it feels like they hate you. I feel like it's like a big adjustment for parents, especially parents who come from different backgrounds, who aren't really woke, who don't really know what's going on with like society now. And we're so like free, and I feel like now you see that more, but back in the day you didn't see that. And my
Mm-mm.
parents are a little bit old school. So I remember before coming out, I would stress so much about this. Like I was stressed like about having to come out. And like I was in therapy and everything, not because of that, but that was just like an added thing. And I was like, I felt like I was living a lie. Like I felt like I was stuck. And I was like, I couldn't even communicate to my parents about like what I did last weekend because it was like I was on a date with a girl. Like it was just like things like that. And it really felt like I was living a double life. And when you do that, it feels lonely and it feels like I feel like I got a hint of what depression feels like during
Mhm.
that time because I feel like I was just crying for no reason. Like I would, because I felt guilty in a way, and then I felt like if I don't come out, I'm gonna like my mental health is gonna go to the
To the
floor,
shit. Yeah.
to shits. And if I do come out, I'm gonna feel more liberated, but my parents probably aren't gonna accept me.
Right.
And the if you go back to like our previous episodes, I've definitely said it somewhere there and there where my mom is this strict Dominican woman who back in the day, she had like some, I don't know if it was mental health issues or what, but she thought that my older sister was gay. So she literally kicked her out of the house for that one reason. Um so I was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. Like, like I was like, yeah. So, obviously I waited until a time where I was by myself and more independent. But like I feel like a lot of people still live with their parents.
Hmm.
And I don't want to pressure anyone to coming out, but just know that it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be. Like you'll be surprised by like how people react. The people who claim they love you the most will be weird about it. And the people who you think are gonna feel some type of way don't fucking care.
Hmm.
Literally don't care. Like I remember telling one of my roommates, like we were roommates in college, and she was like super religious, so I was scared to tell her because I'm like, oh, you know how people are in their religion and their, you know, male and female only type mentality. So I was a little scared to tell her. So I was crying, and she was like super cool about it. She was like, "You don't have to cry for that. Like, I accept you." Like, she ended up sleeping over. Like, her daughter was there. There was like no awkwardness, and I was literally shook. And like when I was telling my parents, I felt like I was getting like anxiety, like I couldn't fucking breathe. It sounds crazy, but like I don't know if anyone could relate to this, but it's a lot of pressure on somebody
It is.
when they're in the closet. It's like
Mm-hmm.
so much pressure, and it leads you to, feeling crazy. And then once you do come out, you feel a little bit better. But yeah.
I mean, coming out is definitely hard,
Mhm.
and not everybody has the same experiences when coming out of being accepted by the ones closest to them.
Mhm.
Like she said, it'd be the ones who claim that they love you till death do us part type shit, and they'll be the
And
ones
then
to
they be
really
acting
shame
weird.
you, and then the ones who you think are gonna be not shit are really gonna like accept the fuck out of you.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, though, like I feel like that's something that you have to do for you. And if you
Mhm.
feel like it's your time, then you should do it. But definitely don't do that shit for nobody.
Mhm.
Don't do that for nobody. And I think like be sure and like comfortable with yourself to know like this is I want to do this. You know, this is worth me doing this.
Mhm.
I'm ready.
Mhm.
You know, you never really know when you're gonna be ready. It took me a lifetime to officially come out, at least to my mom and like certain people. There was a very select few people who I hadn't officially come out to. Everyone else who I felt like, um, it wasn't like I didn't like the people who knew already. It's not like they didn't have a significance in my life. Like I was cool with them or like friends and family, but it was just like their opinion. It didn't matter to me whether or not they were gonna accept me or not.
Mhm.
Like it was just like if you fuck with me, you do. If you don't, whatever. I'm not losing nothing.
Mhm.
That's your loss more than it's mine. But when it came to like my mom, I definitely like I it was a bigger deal for me
Mhm.
because like that woman knows me like the back of her hand, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew that she had already known before I had told her, but I took a lifetime to tell her. I didn't tell her until I got in a relationship with her, which I was 25, 26, 26, 26, right?
I don't know.
Or 27. Oh, whatever. This is like 2 years ago. I literally just came out to my mom and was like, well, I guess I not came out to her when I got with you. I think a couple months before that I did because
Mhm.
I've been living a life majority of the time where people have been outing me. People have been outing me to my mom. And that's the thing when we say like and be the people who claim they really fuck with you. They be the ones to run their mouth and out you because they want to see you suffer. You know? Like people were coming and telling me like I'm sure some people thought they were doing me a favor by telling my mom like, "Oh, she's gonna be gay," or "Oh, she's gay," or "Oh, she's her. That's not her friend. That's her shorty or whatever." I don't know if they thought they was doing me a favor. Some people were like outing me selfishly because I didn't personally tell them and somebody else knew.
Corny.
Like it's been some weird shit,
So corny.
and it's so crazy how much people really care about what you do or who you're
Who you
loving.
sleep with at night? Like, why does that bother you? Why you pressed? You don't
Yeah.
have to see it.
Right. It's really wild. So, I mean, I would like to say to keep your circle tight if you don't really want nobody to know and it's not your time. However, just because someone outs you, don't take that as you're coming out, you know? To
Yeah.
like you only you could come out for you. People
Mhm.
can say whatever the fuck they want, but that's not gonna validate it. You have to validate that.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm gonna say. What number are we on? Two?
3.
Oh, three. Damn, we moving fast. Number three is it's okay to come out later in life. 30, 40, 50, 60, 100. It don't matter. It does
Mhm.
not. It does not have an age limit, a time limit. This is one thing that we have to know or remember. It's like when you're getting older, you change, we change because we experience more things in life, we experience more people, and we're supposed to change. And sometimes we come in contact with people that we didn't even know we could love on a different level, you
Mhm.
know? So it's okay to come out later in life, y'all. Just
Yeah.
know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I think that sometimes people don't want to come out later in life is because
I think it's over.
they've been married to a
Mm-hmm.
man before. They've had kids, obviously, like with a man. So it's like they feel like they're invalid.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are gonna like be like, you're not fucking gay, fuck out of here. Like you were
Yeah.
married, you have kids. Like nobody could tell you about yourself, first of
Right.
all. And it really warms my heart when people message us and they're like late in like
Mm-hmm.
30s, 40s, 50s, and they'll say things like, I want to come out, but like I don't know how everyone's gonna react. And it's like, obviously we can't push you to do anything, but we just want you to know that it is okay to come out later in life.
Yeah.
So
Like at the end of the day, you're the one who gotta lay with the
mhm,
person you're gonna lay with. So if that's what you want to do, and you guys also have to remember too, is that people, when people got into those relationships where they were married or had kids, most of them had it young.
yeah.
And that's why they're in their 30s, 40s, pondering on their sexuality too, is because they hindered that side of them when
Mhm,
they got into those relationships. There's a lot of things when you don't explore yourself and explore life, you always wonder, like, oh, I wonder what that would have been like if I got with that person, or if I did that, or
mhm,
if I moved here.
yeah.
So I think, like, once people finally get that break in life where they're like no longer in that situation or in a relationship with someone they were with for a while,
Mhm,
they're like, I think it's time for me to explore that,
yeah.
version of me. So
Mhm.
it's okay. Do the damn thing.
All right, number 4. This is very important. You don't have to pick a label if you don't want to.
Don't do it.
Take your time. Like so many people come out as like lesbian or gay, queer, whatever, and then maybe they're like bisexual or vice versa. They come out as bisexual and then they're like, oh, maybe I'm like lesbian or pansexual. There are so many labels, and I think that within the LGBTQ community we could be like very nitpicky about that. Like some people really like labels, some people don't care about labels, some people think labels are important, some people think they're not fucking important. I feel like we're a little bit divided when it comes to that in the LGBTQ community. And if you don't know, it's okay to use the generic one, which is gay or
Mm-hmm.
queer. Like you don't gotta be so damn specific,
Yeah.
um and I feel like that was something that I struggled with too, and I feel like still struggle with because people have this, they feel some type of way about bisexual people. The LGBTQ community does a great job at, um, how do you say it? At making bisexuals feel like they're invalid and kind of pushing us away from the community in a way. Like they want us to figure it out. What do you want? You want woman, you want man, what do you want? What is it that you want? And I think that's corny.
I'm gay. I'm just saying. But I agree. The label thing, I say this often. I feel like labels are just to make other people feel comfortable. If you're a person who really stand by your labels and they mean something to you, that's awesome. That's great. At times I think that they do serve a purpose. But for me, I guess with my experience of just being in limbo with exploring my sexuality, it can be very confusing, and people can be very shame, how do you say it, like they really shun you for the
Mhm.
shit that you do, and it's just really crazy.
Mhm.
You can go from being, when you're young, you're like, I'm a lesbian, and then
Mhm.
some people transition and then they actually do explore men, and then they
Oh
have
yeah.
kids, and now all of a sudden, you got the community throwing shots talking about,
Yeah.
yeah, you not gay, you was never gay, or like, it's
Yeah.
vice versa.
You're talking about trans people who then like men?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking like legit, like gay people who start off gay, and then they're like,
Oh, okay.
or who are at the time comfortable in that,
Mhm.
light of like, I've messed with girls, that's where I started, and then
Oh, and
transitioning
then
into
they get
messing with
married to men.
guys.
Uh-huh.
Not even married, just messing, like
Mhm.
just exploring that
Mhm.
side of the world. Just like straight people explore gay, so like we're quick to accept that, but it's like vice versa. I don't know. That's just things that I've seen. So I just feel like it sometimes labels, although it affirms things for people, it also can be very I can't figure out the word.
Complicated.
Yeah, like it just tells makes people come for you because it's like if you say you're this and all of a sudden you're that, people feel like
Yeah.
you're not valid. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you were faking it the whole time type shit. Like
Yeah.
you want some other shit. You not true to this. Weird
Yeah.
shit like that.
And I can understand that though. Like I feel like people who do feel some type of way is because they feel like used. Like they feel like, oh, you was just fucking with me. Like you were just messing with, my feelings and my emotions.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to explore with me. But in reality, you really like men. So they feel a little bit used. So I could understand that part of it. But it is a complicated thing. And I think that people just lack communication skills. Like, tell them, I'm not sure. Like, they ask you if you're a lesbian, I'm not sure. I'm exploring my sexuality, but I don't have to pick a label. Like,
yeah.
that's it. And then the next one, number 5, has a lot to do with number 4, is that bisexuality is valid. And we had some TikTok video. We had posted a TikTok video, and a lot of people were arguing with each other in the comments about bisexuality and how a lot of lesbians don't date bisexuals. They don't like bisexual women, and how it could be biphobic. And some people were like, well, it's not biphobic because, and this is an example that I want you guys to think about. If you were to meet a girl in the club, right? Y'all vibing, you think she's cute, she thinks you're cute, y'all having a good time. 20 minutes in, she tells you, oh yeah, but I'm bisexual. And then you're like, nah. Like, it was nice meeting you, but have a good night. That is biphobic, because before she said she was bisexual, she told you, like, y'all was having a good time. And then she told you this, and then you was like, nah, fuck out of here.
So just ask before you having a good time.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you even ask people that?
I don't know.
Like it's like an awkward thing, but like that's what it means to be biphobic. Like if that,
I mean, it's the same way if you're like, are you gay? You're not gay? Okay.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
no.
Why would it be uncomfortable to ask somebody if they're bisexual? Everybody's bisexual nowadays, so it should be easy.
I don't know. I don't even know how people ask it, but yeah.
Okay. 6, you don't have to be the gay bestie. And you also don't have to fall in love with your bestie, you gay bitch. I don't know what it is. Well, I mean, it's your bestie, so I guess it makes sense. But anyway, you don't have to be the gay bestie. And with that being said, you don't have to be the one that everybody's running to just because you that bitch, and have to take on the world for all your friends. We have, I don't know, I feel like we're, as the gay bestie, not that you're held to a higher standard, but it's just like it's a little bit more pressure in the sense of they expect you to be the life of the party. They expect you to be the stylish bitch in the game. They expect you. I mean, you can. Most of the gay besties are little players, little hoochie doochies, but yeah, it's just
a lot of expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be like that.
Yeah.
But if you got it, bitch, you got it. And that's period.
Yeah.
But that's really all I got for that. Number 7.
All right, number 7. Straight girls aren't the only femmes.
Period.
What do you
mean? And that's on motherfucking period, exclamation point, no question marks.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so for me, again, reverting back to when I was coming up in my gay shit, I had this idea of like, you're either masculine or feminine. And I feel like at the time when I was coming out and exploring that side of my sexuality, a lot of us were coming out as studs, right? We were really in tune with the masculinity identity of being a lesbian or like being the gay girl. That it kind of made it seem like gay girls don't look girly. And that's where like a lot of confusion still till today is like, oh, you're gay? You look like this and you're gay? That's not right, you know? So I feel like in that time, it was just like if you knew another gay girl, she was masculine. And y'all was cool, y'all was friends, but it was like where the femme gay girls at. Like we made it seem like it didn't exist basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you date the straight girls because you think only straight girls are femmes. Only straight girls look girly, you know?
Or are they even really straight then?
I don't know. It's a hit or miss.
No.
I don't know because again, back when we were younger, it just made sense and that's what it was. I think now in like this generation, it's you know, it has broadened its horizons, or
Yeah.
in the words of yours, it has what's that?
Expanded their
Yes,
palette.
expanded your palette.
But I think this has a lot to do with studs not wanting to date other studs because people think it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And you barely see that.
Mm-hmm.
You barely see that.
Right.
I can't even name a couple that's a stud and a stud dating. Like, it's like people see that as weird. And I don't know why. But femme and femme is okay.
Right.
Femme
That
and,
shit's
femme
sexy.
and femme is popping.
Yeah, like that's the only accepted type of woman on woman version. Like, no, grow the fuck up. That's a men's idea of fucking lesbians. No. But that leads into the next one, number 8, which is you can date anyone you're attracted to regardless of presentation. And that pretty much goes back to the one we just did, where it don't matter if you're stud and stud. You know, if you're attracted to that person, be with that person. You know, there are studs who like studs, women who like masculine and part feminine, you know, women who just like feminine. I know a lot of femmes, and it's funny because it's like, how can studs be like, nah, I don't fuck with other masculine Jones, I want a feminine girl, but then get butthurt when they try to holler at a feminine girl and a feminine girl's like, nah, I only fuck with femmes. You know how salty that is?
You could relate.
I think at one point I could relate. I think at one point I was like, damn. So when I'm like, it because I also experienced both, where it's like, oh, well, I'm too masculine. Eventually I found my way with getting with being comfortable with fucking with studs or more masculine people, because I like a little bit of masculine energy. I hold a little bit of both, and I was like the in between, where it's like I'm a little too masculine for most mass, and I'm not at all enough feminine for an over femme shorty who wants like a legit dolled up shorty. So I had issues with that in my, last couple years before I got with you, where it was like, all right,
you weren't femme enough for the
studs.
I
I wouldn't be femme enough for the studs. Yeah, basically. And I'm not femme enough for the femmes who want the femmes. Like, what? But nah. I mean, listen, when you got it, and people are gonna attract to it. And I think like it wasn't that I was out here just like looking for studs. Like there were some who actually was like, all right, I'd fuck with you. There was one who was like, you're too masculine for me, and then she shut the fuck up and she fucked with me. And it happens. Like it's really just about the person you present yourself to be. We gotta remember that.
But did you feel like the need to be more feminine and play like that feminine role in quotations?
To an extent, the slightest bit, because at some point I realized like for me, I felt like there was no balance of like a little bit of femininity and masculinity. And at the time I had fucked with super masculine, like super masculine, and I got a little bit of femininity out of them. And like at the time, like I was just growing into my femininity too, so it was like, this is a lot.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so think of it this way: if you've watched The O Word and you've seen Bet and Gigi literally wrestle each other to have sex, that's literally what it was like. Uncomfortable as fuck, because it was just the toss and turn, the this and that. And I was one to be like, yeah, I'm not no pillow princess ass bitch. Like that's not how I came up. So we about to do this both ways or no ways.
Two tops going crazy.
Right. So yeah, but you can, it don't matter if you fuck with somebody and a person fuck with you. It doesn't matter how they present. At the end of the day, the woman is a woman, the man is a man. If it works for you, let it work for you. Who gives a fuck about what people say? As long as you're comfortable. All right, moving on. Number 9. Turning straight girls out isn't going to prove how gay you are.
I don't know why that's a thing.
It is. It is. I mean, I think, one good time, sure, it's fine to experience. Um, it definitely is a moment in time where you kind of feel, is it inferior? Is that where you like feel like you're on top? I don't know. My vocabulary isn't all that good. But like you kind of feel like the man. You know when you like bag the baddest bitch in the game?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how you feel when you
Yeah.
get with a straight girl. And like that's cool and all. You know, you learn a lot of things in that time,
Mm-hmm.
and she also learns that she's just a little bit gay too.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't make that regular thing. Like people get stuck on that feeling and that excitement and that chase, and they kind of live off of that, and they're just constantly in it with
Mm-hmm.
straight girls, and it's just like
Yeah.
when you're disappointed and they go back to men and really leave you because they really wasn't a whole 100% about this life. Don't be mad.
This is like I feel like this is an interesting one because sometimes I do feel like we were all the straight girl at one
Hmm.
point. But my problem with this is that I feel like I dated people who they always dated a straight girl. It was like they left a straight like they left a straight girl relationship, fucked with another straight girl. The next one was another straight girl. Like
Yeah.
it was just like god damn, like this is a pattern with you, and then you got upset with the outcome of it because sometimes people aren't at your level. They're not ready to come out.
Hmm.
And then that puts a lot of pressure in the relationship because you've been out, and then you date a straight girl and then you're like, when are you gonna come out? And they're like, well, I don't feel like I'm ready
It's not
yet,
that time.
so
Yeah.
it's just like a tricky thing. And then dating someone who isn't out yet makes you feel like you're in the closet again when you've already been there, done that. You just want to literally love this person in front of everybody and not feel any type of way. So I feel like this one is like a hard one because I do feel like we were all the straight girl at one point, but I don't know, not all, but some of us.
Majority of us. But number 9 goes in, well, actually correlates to number 10, which pretty much don't come out if you don't want to. It doesn't have to be this big announcement. You don't have to owe any. Whoa, you don't owe anyone anything. Sorry, I'm kind of reading, but basically, yeah, you don't owe anybody shit. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to come out on somebody else's time. You don't have to come out because the
Are you
person you're
fighting
with.
them?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
are.
because
I'm scared.
not because it's dead ass. Like I hear so many times, and I get it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like don't put yourself in relationships or positions to where you're with somebody who isn't out, and you want them to come out. Like that is not your position or your place to tell them. Listen, you're either coming out
Mm-hmm.
or I'm leaving. Then fucking leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like we have to be more compassionate and understanding when it comes to people's coming out process, because what was your time like that, like, you have to roll it back
Mm-hmm.
and think like, oh, I remember when I was in that space and how I felt and what I was worried about, and
Mm-hmm.
so I just feel like as a partner, as a friend or whatever, even though we know like it's gonna be a little bit better on this side as soon as you come out,
Mm-hmm.
I just think like we should really be more supportive and understanding
Mm-hmm.
when they don't want to come out.
Yeah.
Let them come out on their time.
Yeah, and I think with what I meant with this also, it was like you don't have to come out. You don't have to make a big Facebook post. You don't have to make an Instagram post. You don't have to do anything. Like
It don't gotta be a
it don't have to
huge
be a huge
gestured
gender
announcement.
reveal
Yeah.
type of thing.
Gender reveal.
Like as we get older, we start caring less. I feel like for the younger generation, they may feel the need to like, let me write this big caption and let all my college friends know that I'm gay now. But like, who
Let me
gives a
cut
fuck
my hair
if
and
I
come out
post
with a selfie
if you
saying I'm
post a
gay now.
picture with your new girl and people are like, who's that? Who that? You don't gotta respond. Like
Period.
it's like you're just gonna keep posting this person. They're gonna get the gist of it. They're gonna understand. Oh, she likes girls. Oh, does she like guys too? Like, who gives a fuck? Let them keep wondering. If you want to post just a hand of them and just like don't post a face, just do that. Who cares? Like I feel like a lot of people put pressure into just like the coming out process.
Mhm.
Like I put a lot of pressure into that too, but that's because I have a really close relationship with my family. But I never put pressure into like coming out to society, coming out
Mm-hmm.
to friends. It was just like with friends, you know how I came out? I was like, yeah, so me and this girl, well, I met this girl and this is what
Yeah.
happened. It was literally not like, oh my God, I have to tell you guys something.
Yeah.
I only did that with like I said, family and like close friends, but like friends that I talk to, I'm like, girl, it is what it is.
It's just a
We're
regular
fluid.
conversation, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's just like if you tell me about a homeboy, I'm gonna tell you about a shorty. Like it's not like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like half the time, most
Hmm.
well, a good majority of the time, people kind of already know that you gay. They're gonna be like, girl, we already knew. We was just waiting.
Yeah.
But that's true. Like I don't.
And I think also with like the family thing, like I felt like, oh, I have to come out to everybody.
I
Like I
didn't.
gotta come out to my cousins. I gotta come out to my aunt. I gotta come out to my other aunt. Like I felt like, oh my God, this is just too many people. So I just didn't. If you see a picture of me and Jojo on the internet, that's on you. I
Yeah,
don't
God
care.
bless.
Like so I was like, if my mom tells my aunt, even better for me.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
don't even have to sit here and tell you
Let
because
them have that
I just don't
combo.
want to hear it. And like we come from a Hispanic, family, and sometimes they could say things that they don't realize are hurtful.
Hmm.
I was just like, I just don't want to hear it. Like I told the people who were important to me, parents, siblings. That's pretty much it. Extended family, don't care.
Yeah, you don't have to make a big deal about um telling everybody.
Hmm.
Like when I told my mom, I told her when I was ready, and everybody else leading up to my mom, like everybody pretty much knew except my mom because I wanted to tell her straight up, and I knew that she was the type of person to be like, I'm not going to believe you until she tells me directly.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not going to, even if I might know, she has to tell me directly.
Hmm.
But everybody else, I didn't really was like, yeah, I'm gay, or yeah, I was just like, yeah, I was talking to this shorty the other day, and
Yeah.
that's kind of, it was just regular
They'll
conversation,
be like,
and
yeah, this
you
is my
either got it or
girlfriend.
you didn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was never like a listen, y'all, I'm gay. Like, nah. I think I did that to like my dad and my brothers, and that was it. Didn't care about what they thought because I knew they were gonna love me. But my mom was always the biggest, and that was it. Everybody else, if you was around, you knew what was up or you didn't, and I really didn't care.
Yeah.
So, but that closes out our 10 things I wish I knew before I was gay. Oh,
Yep.
before I came out,
Before
because I'm
coming out.
still gay. Right? You hear me? I'm bugging. Anything you want to add before we
No, that's
slide?
all. I'm I'm hot right
Oh,
now.
she just
Like
got
God
hot.
bless.
All
Uh-huh.
right, y'all. So we're gonna get into this family meeting real quick before we hop on out of here. We got shit to do. Say nah, let you. This one, right?
I don't
Where's
know.
this one? All right. Hello. I came out as a lesbian 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't started dating yet. I've never been on a date or been with anyone, and I don't know where to start. I've thought about dating apps, but that can be a huge gamble. I also thought about trying to approach or meeting someone in a public setting, but I feel like I'm too shy and awkward to make the first move. I can't go to any lesbian bar slash clubs either because I'm underage. I'm 19. Any tips? Yikes. It'd be the young ages that are hard to do that. I don't have much experience with dating apps. Honestly, social media has kind of been the dating app, so to say.
So when you were 19, how were you dating?
Girl, I was playing sports and shit. That's how I met people.
Okay.
Playing sports in high school, people that I was in class with, making friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sports definitely was the big play for me when I was younger
Mm-hmm.
because I was meeting people from everywhere, and the
Mm-hmm.
more I met people and played sports, you kind of like um had like
Yeah.
grew friendships and shit, and then you start to know who's gay, who's not, and all that
Mm-hmm.
shit. So I think that played a big part. I feel like if you're sometimes working and getting to know the people that you work
Mm-hmm.
and not taking advantage, but also like it'd be the mutual friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So with knowing the people that you work with, maybe getting, to know their friends, like if you go out with them and you get to know their friends and making friends from there, and people fall into place. That's where you kind of meet people,
Yeah.
is through meeting other people. But eventually it became social media. social media is kind of like the dating
Yeah.
app Instagram. You follow
Mm-hmm.
somebody, you like their pictures. It's kind of like you're telling them, hey, I think you're kind of cute, and then you
Yeah.
slide into the DMs and do all that shit. Like that's still a thing. And I think that that's probably where most of everybody's been really doing it.
I feel like it's hard to be like at that age, because I feel like real dating, not real dating, but like you go on a lot of dates when you're like in your 20s, just because you do go out, you go to bars, you meet people and things like that.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're in college or not, but I definitely recommend um going to like these queer spaces. Like I know in college they usually have like a women's center or like an LGBTQ club and stuff. And even though it sounds corny, like you got to give it a chance, and this is where people are meeting other people, putting yourself out there more. Like let's say they have like open mic night, or like just going to events that the school is already throwing. Like you never know who you could meet, you know? Um, but like if you're not in school, then work. Like I feel like a lot of people meet someone from work. However, you have to be real careful with that, because I feel like dating coworkers could be tragic.
Yeah. That's why I
Like
say go for the
it could
friends.
be, yeah, like I feel like maybe go out with your coworkers, friends, and get to meet people there. Um like Jojo said, social media. I don't know about the dating apps, just because I feel like you could meet some really weird people there, and like you're 19, and sometimes these older people just be taking advantage. So I
Yeah.
don't want you to date someone that's like 15 years older than you,
Yeah.
and like you should be dating someone who's like in your age range, since you've never been in a relationship
Yeah.
before. And yeah, maybe we should do like a podcast episode on like going on dates and things like
I,
that.
I think we think so hard, especially
Mm-hmm.
when we're younger, is like how to date how adults date,
Mm-hmm.
going to bars, doing this. I mean, let's be real, the older you get, it's not that much easier. It just
Mm-hmm.
opens your
Options,
options in
yeah.
terms of environments,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but I think that when you think about, oh well, I can't date like that because I can't get into a bar or like shit
Mm-hmm.
like that, we aren't cognitive of the things we have, you know
Yeah. Access
for
to.
us, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
access for us to
Mm-hmm.
have. And it's like, realize what you got.
Mm-hmm.
School is a big play. That's where you're
Yeah.
getting all your social skills from. You've been
Right.
getting your social skills from school for the last 12 years, playing sports, getting into clubs.
Uh,
There's
I
actually
feel like. Mm-hmm.
establishments, I'm sorry, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually establishments that do like that, like you said, open mic nights. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be in school. There's some establishments that actually do those things on the regular
Yeah,
during,
you don't have to be 21.
yeah, you don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
overage just to get in these places. It's just certain hours you can't get in,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just doing your research
Mm-hmm.
and, finding places that way.
I don't know about the whole playing sports thing, because if this person is in college, you either have to go in there playing a sport, because I feel like it's kind of hard to start
But that's where
that
clubs
late.
come
But I
in.
recommend going to the actual games,
That
and
too.
like just going to these basketball games, whatever it is, just go to the games. You literally never know who you could meet there, and for some reason there's always a lot of gay girls who play sports. And then you find them on Instagram, you stalk them, then you DM them.
Period.
Period. There's this one.
Yeah, but I like this one.
Oh, okay.
All right, next one. I got out of a 6-year relationship. I've been single for a year. At heart, I'm very much tomboyish and consider myself more boyish, but I love to dress up girly and very femme. But all I seem to attract is butch girls, which I'm not into. Seems like, ooh, I lost myself. Seems like femmes just aren't into femmes. What? Seems
Seems
like
like
femmes
femmes aren't
are
into femmes.
anything you can recommend or where I can find femmes that are into femmes, which is literally the shit we was talking about. I don't know. I guess it's hard to realize like what femmes are gay because it's just like a femme is just a girly girl or just a regular. So it's hard to differentiate.
Mm-hmm.
But there actually are literally femmes out here who like femmes. And it kind of is hard to tell because that goes back to what I was saying. If you're this way, they don't like you. If you're that way, they don't like you. And I feel like when you're presenting the same presentation as them, it's like nobody shows you attention.
Yeah.
But when you're the opposite presentation of what you want to attract, everybody wants to come. So I think as a femme, you're always going to get, or when you present as more feminine, you're always going to get a masculine, like expect to get a mask lesbian's attention. Like it's going to happen a good majority of the time. But you don't know with femmes, you feel me? So it's like you literally have to go up to them the same, like regardless of you're presenting femme or masculine, you got to go up to these people. You got to know what they like. You can't just hold the wall up and wait for someone to come because it's not going to come. So if you want a femme, approach them. And they're either going to be like, you're so pretty, you know, but I'm just not, I kind of like masculine women, and that's okay. The same way you got to tell studs, listen, I like femmes, you got to take what you dish out, right?
But I want to get back into the, she said, I'm not into butch girls. Like, obviously this isn't a conversation, so I don't know what her answer is, but what is it about butch girls in quotations that you don't like? Is it their presentation, or is it the way that they act? Because you may be thinking that someone is super masculine and super butch because of how they present, but in reality they really be so feminine. A lot of stud girls are so feminine behind closed doors, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, but I feel like that would be the same because like you consider yourself a little bit more tomboyish and have a certain type of masculinity, but you also but you just publicly present yourself more feminine. Like it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. You gotta approach people nowadays because it's like you don't know who's gay. You don't know if the femme girl's gay or just a girly girl. It's a lot of confusion. So you just gotta say, you know, go up, approach people, say the damn thing, you know. Hey, I think you're really cute. I think you're really beautiful. What's up? And they're either gonna say it's just gonna be like a regular, you know, I'm not into it, or yeah, what's up? Like you really don't know. What are you gonna lose?
Yeah,
you can't lose nothing if you never had it. Feel me?
But you could also try new things.
What do you mean? Oh, like yeah, you'd be surprised. Entertain the person. You never know. You might actually like them. Like I said earlier, it don't matter how they look. Give people a chance, and they will surprise you. But that's all we got for today in this episode. I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it. She loved it so much. She's getting wet over here. Her water just dropped all over her shirt. Is there anything you want to...
No, that's all. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you're new here, please, please, please subscribe.
Yes.
We post podcast every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and the video goes out at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, and if you haven't signed up for Patreon, go ahead and do so. We post bonus content on there as well every week, and that's pretty much it.
Side note, the stuff we post on Patreon, we do post some audios talking about more personal shit that we don't necessarily talk about on here, but we also give you our extra content videos that we give you are more personal to us as well. It's not us just chitty chatty. So if you want more of us personally, go ahead and sign up to our Patreon. You will not regret it. You'll be entertained, and that's on period. You heard? All right, now.
Bye.
Deuce, mother goose.